1 Prologue. It was dark all around. I couldn't see a thing even as I waved my hand in front of my face. What happened? Where am I? I asked. Out loud. Don't know why I did though. It's not like anyone's here. I stayed like this for a while. I think it's kinda hard to tell the time when you're 5. Senses are completely useless and the darkness is covering you like a blanket. Well, I guess I'll take a nap for a little while. Slash 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 slash. And suddenly, I was awake. I immediately wished I wasn't, after going so long without any form of feeling or sight. All the vibrant colors and textures were painful to look at and feel. And then, as I was slowly acclimating to my senses again, someone picked me up and slapped my ass. Ow. Fuck. But all that came out was gibberish. He's a healthy young boy, all right. Laughed a giant. Let me see my baby boy, said a distinctly feminine voice. And then I was passed around to another set of arms, thankfully, without the ass slapping this time, as the person holding me looked down at me with affection and started talking gibberish like I used to do when I saw a cute animal. Reality sunk in. I'm a fucking kid, aren't I? Aren't you the most beautiful little boy? Mommy's so happy to finally see you. Well, shit. To Naruto. That's kinda cool. Well, it's been a year. I know, you might be asking, what have you been doing for a whole year? Well, that's the thing. Absolutely nothing. I don't get how. In novels, people start training in the womb. For me, the only thing I can do is cry for food and shit in my diaper, not really a lot of capability for training. Well, I can't say that nothing important happened. System activating. 1, 2, 3, booting up. Template system activated. Choosing template. Found. Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto. Integrating. Success. Ellipsis. 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 Is that it? Don't I get a welcome package? A beginner's guide. Maybe a tutorial. Ellipsis. Ellipsis. Shit. 2 years later. Inventory. Status. Skills. Anything. Please. Honey, what are you yelling about? It's time for dinner. That was my mom calling. A very pretty young woman with long brown hair and striking dark red eyes. Something that I inherited from her with my own brown hair and red eyes. She says my facial structure is more like my father's, but I've never met him. Sameh. Coming, Mom, I yelled back as I gave up on getting an answer from my system. Today, at least. I don't think I've mentioned it, but I haven't got out much. I can't really go farther than a couple blocks from our house, which is a really crummy house by the way, so I haven't seen much. My mother is very paranoid that I'll get hurt. For some reason. Meh, I blame the dad I've never met. We live near an apartment complex and the playground, which has been devoid of kids for a while since I kinda weirded them all out. But meh, they're kids. They don't have opinions. As I head back to the house, which is only about 100 meters away, I think back on my relatively uneventful life. So far, I have assumed that I've been reincarnated sometime in the past, but I can't tell how far based on what's around me. I assume I'm on Earth still. At least, that's how I thought. As I'm walking towards my house, I see something that stops me in my tracks. A man wearing a green vest with a red swirl on the back climbing a wall. That wouldn't be cause for any great alarm, besides it being weird that someone was climbing the wall of an apartment building, but not alarming. No, it was the fact that he was climbing the wall by walking up it vertically. What the fuck? And as I gaze at the man who was walking up the wall like it was totally normal, I catch a glint of something that makes my heart race. A metal headband with a stylized leaf engraved on it. Where are you? The food is going to get cold. I'm in Naruto. Well, I've gotta check something out then. I rush over to the apartments, ignoring my Mom shouts, and run through the doors. Past a rather plump man. Hey, watch it, he grunted. Kids these days. I didn't hear any of it though. I immediately dashed for the stairs and started climbing, and climbing, until I burst out the door and onto the roof. I start looking around and there it is. In all of its glory, the Hokage monument, with 4 heads on it. I really am in Naruto, huh? And then my mom bursts through the door a second later. Tsurugi-kan, I will beat your ass. She yelled. What were you thinking running off like that? You could have gotten hurt. Shit, I forgot about her. Sorry, Mom, I just wanted to get a look at the monument, that's all. She looked at me, even angrier than before. You think I'm going to believe that? You are just asking for a spanking, young man. Well, shit, I thought as I got dragged back down the apartment building towards the house, where I was most definitely going to get spanked. At least I'm in a cool world. Chakra. Jutsus. Cool ninja weapons. It could have been worse. Now that I'm here, I might as well stand at the top. Maybe after the spanking, though. First training attempt. After that slight freakout and spanking, I ate my dinner and tried to sleep. Really, I did. But there were too many thoughts flying around inside my head. Is this canon compliant or an alternate universe? I saw that there were 4 heads on the Hokage monument, but does that mean I'm in Naruto's generation, or am I a couple of years early? Has the Kyuubi attacked yet? Eventually, I realize that it doesn't matter. It's not like I can change my date of birth. I'll figure this out later. Tomorrow, noon. I am currently 3 years old, which means I have about 4 years to learn some stuff before entering the academy. Why? Because my mom won't let me enter until I'm 7 years old. What a bummer. So I guess it's time for physical training and trying to sense my chakra, because I can't do anything else without a teacher. Woo. Now, it might be insane that I would start physically training at 3 years of age. Back on my earth, it would be. I would just end up hurting my development for the future. But here is different. Here, 6-year-olds can become chunins, so I definitely have a shot at training while I'm young. Because I refuse to believe that Kakashi didn't train for at least 2 or 3 years before making chunin. So, it's simple. I'll do the One Punch Man routine and meditation. Well, as much as I can do of it, anyway. So, after a filling lunch, I head into the tree line near the playground. After walking for a couple of minutes, I found a nice clearing to get started. First, I start meditating. I don't really remember how they unlocked chakra in Naruto, so I began by clearing my thoughts. After my experience in the, I guess void, I found this part really easy. Being without senses for a while really changes a guy, huh? After that, I start trying to sense something inside me. I imagine an energy source that starts in my stomach and spreads throughout the rest of my body from there. After about an hour, with only a slight tingly feeling to show for it, I get ready to do my physical routine. Alright, push ups, into sit ups, into squats, and then I'll run as many laps as I can around this clearing. 35 minutes later. Oh god, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I wheeze out as I collapse on the ground. I manage to do 15 push ups, 15 sit ups, 30 squats, and about 5 laps around the clearing. Which is pretty insane for a 3-year-old, I might add. But that's going by the standards of my old world. In this world, where people can walk on water and spit tornadoes, it's pretty pathetic. Just as I was about to hobble my way home, I heard a beautiful noise in my head. Ding! System activated. Yes. Woohoo. It's about damn time. After a few seconds, a screen pops up in front of me. Welcome to the template system. Here is a short guide on how it works. First, you will have the template of Genryu Sai Shigekuni Yamamoto, which will allow you to gain almost all the skills he has through hard work. First, the progress will be split up into 4 parts: taijutsu, kenjutsu, fire release, and chakra. You can gain progress through physical training, sparring, and life and death battles. You will gain progress fastest through real battles, and slowest through physical training. You need a sword for kenjutsu progress, fire for fire release, and chakra for chakra. Simple, right? The more progress you make, the slower it will become. If you think about it, you can train all 4 parts at the same time. When you want to see your progress screen and skills, just think. And it'll appear. Well, that's about it. Have a nice life. And the screen disappeared. Hello. Is that all there is? I was a bit dumbfounded. Though the template is overpowered, why not a gamer system? Wouldn't that just break this world eventually? Hey, what about quests? Do I get any rewards? Any hidden objectives? But there was just silence. I guess that's all I'm getting from this stingy system. Might as well check my progress. I then thought about it, and sure enough, another screen popped up in front of my face. Taijutsu. Skills. None. Progress. 1%. Kenjutsu. Skills. None. Progress. 0%. Fire release. Skills. None. Progress. 0%. Chakra. Skills. None. Progress. 0%. 1%. That's all I get for that training. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this system. Well, that's enough complaining. It's almost time for dinner anyway. I start wobbling back home. When I get there, my mom immediately stops what she's doing. Are you okay? Did someone hurt you? She started fussing over me and searching for injuries. My face gets a little red. No, Mom, I was just doing a little bit of training. You know, I want to be a ninja, right? Her worry softens a little bit and she becomes stern. I know, sweetie, but I need you to be careful, okay? As long as you don't stay out past dinner time and don't overdo it, I'll allow you to train. Then her gaze becomes a type of menacing that only moms can pull off to keep their kids in control, and you will inform me of when you're training and where, right? I gulped. Of course, Mom. She smiled. All right then. With that out of the way, go set the table. Dinner's almost ready. Okay. I walked over to our cramped dining room and started preparing. This is just the start. Someday, I'll be standing in the big leagues with the likes of Madara and Hashirama. With that thought, I set a goal for my life in this world. For unlocking chakra and academy. 6 months later, in the clearing. Today's the day. I can feel it. I sat down to meditate and began to clear the thoughts from my head. The tingling sensation that I got 6 months ago. It was getting stronger and stronger, so I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. Anyway, I started reaching within myself for this energy I've been trying to grasp for half a year. And with this last push, it was like a dam had broken inside of me. I felt more alive than I'd ever felt. The feeling of power through my veins was intoxicating. I started flexing my chakra because that's what it had to be, and moving it, which was more difficult than I thought. It was like trying to pick up syrup with a fork. Damn it, I just unlocked chakra. What was I expecting? Then I started feeling tired, which is weird because I haven't even started my physical training for the day. Then, as I started collapsing, I realized something. Ah, I can really be a dumbass sometimes. Of course, flexing my meager amount of chakra is going to exhaust me. Ha, I don't think I can stand upright now. And I was right. So I lay there for what I think is 2 hours before I felt some strength coming back to me. Which is when I realized it was dinner time. I would probably get grounded if I'm late, so I ended up dragging myself back to the house, where my mother was there to greet me. She was already used to me coming home exhausted, so she didn't notice anything outside of the norm. After dinner, I dragged myself to bed. Before going to sleep though, I decided to check my status. Taijutsu. Skills. None. Progress. 3%. Kenjutsu. Skills. None. Progress. 0%. Fire release. Skills. None. Progress. 0%. Chakra. Skills. None. Progress. 1%. Progress is slow, but I can feel the difference that even just 1% did for my physique. That said, it still is a little slow. For my taste, I am planning on adding punches and kicks to my routine to see if it goes faster. I push the screen out of my mind and go back to sleep. I have a long day of training ahead of me. 3 years and 6 months later. It's finally time to enter the academy. My stats are probably genin level and my chakra reserves are at the level of an elite genin. That is to say, physically at least. I still haven't had a single fight or any instruction on how to fight, so I'd probably lose to a genin in a heartbeat. But I'm still proud of my progress, especially my chakra. I take a quick look at my stats. Taijutsu. Skills. None. Progress. 7%. Chakra. Skills. None. Progress. 11%. I'm broken out of my thoughts, though. Sweetie, don't forget your lunch. And make sure to play nice with the others. I know you're not much for socializing, but try to make friends. Also, I cut her off. Okay, Mom, I get it. This is the third time we've gone over this. I'll be fine. See you at dinner. After my quick goodbye, I ran out of the house towards the academy. I couldn't wait. Finally, some real ninja education. At my pace, I quickly arrived at the academy and headed to my designated classroom. I was probably 10 minutes early. But the classroom was already packed full of kids. I pushed my way through the back and took a seat in the farthest corner. I started to observe some of my classmates when my eyes caught sight of 3 canon characters. Or, I think 3, because Rock Lee looks different since he hasn't met Guy yet. Tenten and Neji are pretty distinct though. Hey, can I sit here? A voice broke me out of my surprise. A boy slightly shorter than me, with brown hair and green eyes, looked back at me. Sure, I said. Thanks. I'm Ito Isamu. Definitely not someone I remember from canon. Though it is possible that I just have a bad memory. I'm Tsurugi Kan. Nice to meet you. After I said my piece, I turned away from him. He looked like he was going to say something, but at that moment, all right, everybody, take your seats. At the slightly intimidating voice, all the students shut up and sat down quickly. Good, the teacher said. My name is Yamanaka K, and I'll be your homeroom teacher for your time in the academy. You will refer to me as sensei or Yamanaka sensei. I will not tolerate any disrespect. He did seem like a no nonsense kind of guy. Well, this was going to be fun, yawn. Despite my inner thoughts, the Yamanaka continued on. Every day you will begin here, where I will teach you about our village's values and history until lunchtime. After an hour for lunch, you will be taken outside for physical exercise and technique training for 3 hours. For the last hour, you will be paired up with partners to spar. This sparring will start next month since some of you don't have the basics of a taijutsu style yet. He took a minute to make sure we were all listening and then continued. Now before we start, I will call out your name and you will introduce yourself. This part was pretty boring as everybody said something generic. A couple stood out though. One was an Uchiha girl, I think her name was Ayame or something, but she wanted to be a Junin and lead the police force. Second was the boy sitting next to me, Ito Isamu. He wanted to build a large family and become an elite Junin, which was a high goal. Not as high as my goal of being the strongest, but I could feel the resolution in his voice, which is something I can respect. The next was a predictably boring 4 hours of history and patriotism. Then a bell rang, and I was released from my torture. Lunch was a rather boring affair, as I didn't want to talk to anyone and no one wanted to Talk to me. But it was after lunch that the excitement started. I was finally going to learn some techniques. As we headed out to the field, a new instructor, who I recognized from Canon. Hello class, I am Mizuki and I will be your taijutsu and shurikenjutsu teacher. You can call me Mizuki sensei, he said in a kind and welcoming tone. But I knew what lay underneath. I pushed down my disgust, though. I still need to learn, even if it is from this asshole. After introducing himself, he demonstrated some proper footwork and some basic punches and kicks, which wasn't much, but I can't expect to have an epiphany on the first day of class. For the next 2 hours, we all worked on our taijutsu forms, while Mizuki and an assistant that I didn't even notice went around and corrected our stances. For the last 2 hours, we learned how to throw shuriken and kunai, which awoke the child inside me, because kunai and shuriken are cool. All in all, it was a productive day. I couldn't wait for next month though, because that's when we would start sparring. I didn't forget that sparring would increase my templates progress faster. Even for how brief the systems tutorial was, it still had some valuable information. After dinner, I returned back to the clearing behind the playground. No time for slacking, only the grind. I went to be exhausted but satisfied that night.